All right, so are you ready to dive into some of this stuff? You've given us these articles on the benefits of physical activity, creating a training program, and fitness safety. Sounds like someone's about to be an athlete.
Someone's trying to take their well-being to the next level, huh?
Yeah.
I think what's so interesting about what you've given me is that it's not just about hitting the gym. It's like a much broader
Yeah.
scope of fitness and health.
Yeah, it's like buckle up. We're going beyond your basic workout advice. And
Mm.
speaking of going beyond the basics, let's jump right into the good stuff, the awesome benefits of getting active. We're not just talking like stronger muscles and bones here, although those are pretty awesome perks of
Right.
it.
Yeah. And I think one of the most compelling points that the benefits of physical activity article brings up is the huge impact on your mental well-being.
Okay.
Like we're talking mood boost, stress reduction, maybe even telling anxiety to take a hike.
Yeah.
It even touches on how, for some people who are battling depression, regular exercise can be just as effective as medication.
Whoa, that's huge. So it's like exercise is like a superpower for both your body and your mind.
Definitely.
But here's the flip side, the part that might make you want to get off the couch right now.
Okay.
Our sources get real about the downsides of a sedentary lifestyle.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it's not pretty.
Yeah, it's not sugarcoating it.
Well,
We're talking increased risk of obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, even the possibility of blood clots.
oh,
It's
wow.
like leading an inactive life is doing the opposite of all that good stuff we just talked about.
It's almost like our bodies are saying, like, move it or lose it.
Yeah.
So we've established that being active is important, but where do we even begin? Luckily, our sources break down the world of exercise into four main types: aerobic, strength, balance, and flexibility.
And what I think is really interesting here is how these different types, they're not mutually exclusive.
Right.
It's not about just picking one, right?
Yeah.
It's about how they work best when you combine them for this well-rounded routine.
Okay, so it's like building a fitness puzzle, and each type of exercise is a piece.
I like that.
I like that too. So let's talk about how to put those pieces together into an actual training program.
Yeah. And the Creating a Successful Training Program article does a fantastic job of laying it out in this really clear structure, much like you would have for learning any new skill.
Okay.
Warm up, the main event, and cool down.
This is where it gets really interesting for me because I'll confess, I used to be the queen of skipping warm-ups.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. But these sources really emphasize their importance and not just to avoid pulling a hamstring, you know?
For sure, yeah. And Creating a Successful Training Program really emphasizes how a good warm-up, it could be as simple as arm circles, leg swings,
Mm.
you're increasing blood flow and oxygen to your muscles, you're improving their range of motion, prepping them for the workout ahead.
Okay.
It even helps prepare you mentally, right?
Mhm.
Like signaling to your body, all right, it's go time.
So it's not just about stretching, it's about priming your entire system for action.
Exactly.
And then on the other side of the workout, we've got the cool down, another step. I'm guilty of rushing.
Well, I think a lot of us are.
Yeah.
We're busy, we got to get on with our day.
Yes.
But creating a successful training program is really clear. Taking those few minutes for a cool down is crucial. It lets your body recover gradually. So we're talking static stretches, holding each one for at least 30 seconds, maybe even some foam rolling
It's
afterwards.
like giving your muscles a well-deserved pat on the back after all that hard work. Frequency, intensity, time, and type.
Yeah, I mean, these are really our building blocks here, right? So frequency, how often are you working out? And for most people, aiming for 3 to 5 days a week of moderate exercise is a great place to start. Of course, adjusting based on your current fitness level.
Of course.
Then we have intensity. How hard are you actually pushing yourself during those workouts?
Which makes me think of one of the most common pieces of advice I hear all the time. Listen to your body.
Absolutely. And it's so true, right? Because it's great to push yourself, but overexertion,
Yes.
that's a recipe for disaster. So it's all about challenging yourself, but not overdoing it.
And of course, we can't forget about time, which always seems to be in short supply these days.
Always, always.
Right.
It's about finding what you can realistically commit to. Even 20 minutes of dedicated exercise is better than nothing at all, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And then finally, we've got type.
Yes.
And this is where those 4 categories we were discussing earlier come in: aerobic, strength, balance, and flexibility.
All right, so let's say we've got our warm-up, our cool-down, and we're starting to figure out how often and how hard we're going to work out. Is there anything else we should keep in mind, especially when it comes to, like, strength training?
That's a great question. And Creating a successful training program actually has an answer for us. Periodization.
Periodization. That sounds intense. What exactly is that?
Yeah, it's kind of a fancy way of saying you need to mix up your strength training routine to keep seeing those gains.
Yeah.
Because our bodies are incredibly adaptable.
Okay.
And if you do the same workout with the same weights week after week, you're going to hit a plateau.
So it's about keeping your body guessing.
Exactly. And there are a couple of common types of periodization.
Yeah.
There's linear periodization, where you're gradually increasing that intensity over time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have undulating periodization, where you're changing the stimulus more frequently in this wave-like pattern.
Okay. So which one is better?
Well, that's the cool part. It depends.
Okay.
Some people thrive on that gradual progression of linear periodization, while others prefer that constant variety of undulating.
Yeah.
So it's about finding what works best for you.
It's like choosing your own fitness adventure.
Yeah.
But before we get too caught up in building those muscles and setting new personal bests, our sources make it clear that safety is non-negotiable.
Absolutely. And fitness safety and injury prevention really drives this point home, especially when it comes to overexertion.
Yeah.
Did you know that over 3.2 million sports-related injuries happen each year? And a whopping 70% of those are attributed to overuse.
Wow, over 3 million injuries. That's a stark reminder that we need to, respect our limits.
For sure.
And heat stroke, that's another serious risk, especially during those really intense workouts or when you're exercising in hot weather.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so besides avoiding overexertion and heat stroke, what else can we do to stay safe?
One of the best things you can do is listen to your body.
It's like our bodies have their own internal warning system.
Exactly. If you're feeling any pain, extreme fatigue, a drop in your performance,
Right.
those are all signs to slow down or take a break.
Yeah.
And speaking of breaks, fitness safety and injury prevention has some really good stuff on preventing those common sports injuries we always hear about.
Right. Like,
Sprains, strains, fractures.
yeah, those can really set you back in your progress.
Totally. And fitness safety and injury prevention really gets into how those can often come from improper form or pushing too hard too fast.
Which makes sense, right? We get excited, we want to see results quickly, and bam,
Exactly. You get injured.
we end up hurting ourselves.
You're trying to run before you can walk.
Yeah, exactly.
And this is where really understanding proper form and technique is super important. And thankfully, our sources do give us some guidance on that.
Okay, so let's break it down. Where do we even begin?
Well, as fitness safety and injury prevention stresses, warming up those muscles before any strenuous activity is key.
Of course.
Dynamic stretches, again, like arm circles, leg swings, they're your best friend.
It's amazing how something as simple as a good warm-up can make such a difference.
Huge difference. It's
Yeah.
really about preparing your body for what's to come.
Yeah.
And then during your workout, focus on maintaining good form throughout each exercise.
Right.
And this might be where, having a trainer or even watching reputable videos can be super helpful.
Oh, yeah. It's like having a coach in your corner, making sure you don't do more harm than good.
Totally. And then, as you're gaining strength and confidence, resist that urge to jump ahead too quickly.
Okay.
You want to gradually increase the intensity and duration of your workouts to avoid overwhelming your body.
Gotcha.
Remember, slow and steady wins the race.
That's right.
And hey, let's not forget about protective gear. If you're into contact sports or activities with a higher risk of falling, gear up to minimize those potential injuries.
Oh, absolutely. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Right.
100%.
Now, speaking of safety, fitness safety and injury prevention also talks a lot about proper footwear.
Yes.
I'm talking shoes that are designed for your specific activity, fit comfortably,
Yeah.
and provide adequate support.
So important.
This is where I have to admit I'm guilty of holding on to shoes for way too
Oh,
long.
you and me both.
Right.
I'm terrible for that.
But those worn-out soles, they might be doing more harm than good.
Oh, absolutely.
Remember, good shoes, it's like an investment in your long-term health and comfort.
Okay, so we've covered warm-ups, proper form, pacing ourselves, wearing the right gear, choosing the right shoes. It seems like there's a lot to keep in mind.
Well, it's all about creating those healthy habits and
Yeah.
just really being mindful of your body's needs.
And staying hydrated. We can't forget about that.
Oh, that's number one.
Fitness safety and injury prevention even calls out urine color as a good indicator of your hydration levels. Pale yellow is the goal.
Easy check, right?
So easy.
But you'd be surprised how many of us forget.
Yeah, we do.
And then finally, fitness safety and injury prevention also stresses the importance of incorporating strength training and flexibility exercises into your routine.
So we're going back to those four main types of exercise. Is there a particular reason why strength training and flexibility are so important for preventing injuries?
You really are like the dynamic duo of injury prevention,
Okay.
strength training. It's building those strong muscles and bones, making you more resilient to things like fractures. Flexibility, like stretching, you're improving your range of motion, which can help prevent those pesky muscle strains.
So it's about creating a really solid foundation for your body to move safely and efficiently.
Exactly.
Now, let's dive back into those four types of exercise a bit more, shall we? Earlier, we talked about them as pieces of a fitness puzzle, but I'm curious to learn more about each one.
Okay.
Benefits of physical activity really breaks down aerobic exercise, explaining how it increases your heart rate and breathing, strengthens your heart and lungs, and improves your circulation and oxygen flow.
Yeah, not to mention it burns calories and can help with weight management,
Oh, right.
all while reducing the risk of chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes.
Wow, it's like aerobic exercise is a win-win for your body.
Definitely.
And the great thing is there are so many options.
Yeah.
Running, swimming, dancing, biking, even just a brisk walk, you can find something you enjoy and that fits your lifestyle.
Exactly.
Now, what about anaerobic exercise? This one seems to be all about those short bursts of high-intensity effort, right?
Yeah,
Like sprinting or something.
exactly. So think like sprinting, weightlifting, jumping, things that really require your body to work in a different way.
Okay.
So anaerobic exercise, it really focuses on building muscle mass, improving strength and power, and enhancing speed and agility.
Okay, so it's like training for explosive movements.
Exactly.
And speaking of training, let's talk a little bit more about strength training.
Sure.
Creating a successful training program gets into the specifics here, mentioning compound exercises and isolation exercises.
Yeah, and these are really like the building blocks of strength training.
Okay.
Compound exercises, think squats, deadlifts, lunges, bench presses.
Okay.
They work multiple muscle groups simultaneously, making them super efficient for overall strength building and calorie burning.
So if you're short on time, compound exercises are the way to go.
They're a great option, yeah.
Okay.
And then you've got isolation exercises, and these target a single muscle group at a time. So think bicep curls, leg extensions, calf raises. Those are often favored by bodybuilders who are really looking to, sculpt specific muscles.
Okay, so it's like fine-tuning those muscles.
Exactly.
Now, when it comes to structuring your strength training routine, creating a successful training program brings up this really interesting concept, the SA principle.
Yes, the SAID principle.
Okay, I have to admit, I don't know what that means.
I know, it sounds very official, right?
It-
It stands for specific adaptations to imposed demands,
Okay.
which basically means your body is going to adapt to the specific types of stress you put on it.
Okay.
So if you want to be a better runner, you need to run.
Right.
If you want bigger biceps, you got to work those biceps.
It's all about training specifically for your goals.
Exactly.
Now, earlier we were talking about periodization, which is all about mixing things up in your strength training routine.
Right.
But how often should we actually be strength training?
Creating a successful training program suggests, again, aiming for that 3 to 5 days a week for moderate exercise. And as always, adjusting for your own individual fitness level.
It's all about finding that sweet spot, right?
Exactly.
And remembering that consistency trumps everything. It's better to have those shorter, more frequent workouts than to cram everything into one long, grueling session once a week.
Absolutely.
Now, we can't forget about balance and flexibility.
Right.
Two components that often, I think, get overlooked.
For sure.
But benefits of physical activity actually dedicates a whole section to yoga,
Yes.
highlighting how it's much more than just stretching.
Right.
I was just about to say, I used to think yoga was all about touching your toes, but it sounds like it's so much more than that.
It really is. Yoga combines those physical postures, the breathing exercises, and meditation
Oh, wow.
to improve flexibility, balance, strength, all while offering those amazing mental benefits like reducing stress and anxiety.
It's like a holistic mind-body workout. Sign me up.
Right. And the great thing is there's so many different styles of yoga out there. So whether you're looking for something gentle and restorative or maybe more challenging and dynamic, there's something out there for you.
It's all about finding what resonates with you, right?
Exactly.
Now, I can't help but think back to something we touched upon a little earlier, the social aspect of fitness.
Yeah.
Do our sources say anything about that?
Yeah, they do a little bit, especially in creating a successful training program, talking about the benefits of, maybe finding a workout buddy or joining a group fitness class.
Right.
It's not even just about accountability. It's about those shared experiences,
Yeah.
motivation, maybe even a little healthy competition.
Yeah, it's like having a built-in cheering section to keep you going. So it seems like we've covered just about everything when it comes to physical activity, the why, the what, even the how.
I think so.
Any final words of wisdom from our sources before we wrap up this deep dive?
If there's one overarching theme
Hmm.
that kind of emerges from all of this, it's the importance of balance.
Oh, interesting balance in like our approach to fitness and the
Oh,
types of exercise we choose,
yeah.
and even in like listening to our bodies.
100%. It's about pushing your limits, but also knowing when to rest and recover.
Right.
It's about finding that sustainable routine that, really enhances your physical and mental well-being without leading to burnout or injury.
Yeah, it's about finding that sweet spot where fitness becomes like a source of joy and empowerment, not a chore.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some like key takeaways you want our listeners to walk away with?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's so important to remember knowledge is power.
Love that.
The more you understand about your own body, the better equipped you are to really make informed decisions about your own personal fitness journey,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, it's like having a roadmap to kind of guide you towards your goals.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment, try different things,
Yeah.
see what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to challenge yourself a little bit. And just remember, fitness, it's not a one-size-fits-all journey, right?
Totally.
What works for one person may not work for another, and that's okay.
Right.
Listen to your body,
Mhm.
be patient with yourself, and celebrate those small victories along the way,
Because every step counts, no matter how small.
every single one.
Yeah.
And lastly, I think it's so easy to underestimate the power of connection.
Oh, yeah.
So whether that's finding a workout buddy, joining a group fitness class, or even just, connecting with some like-minded people online,
Yes.
having that support system can make all the difference.
It really can. It's amazing how much more we can accomplish when we've got people in our corner cheering us on.
That's true.
Well, I think it's safe to say we have officially taken a deep dive into the world of physical activity.
I think we have.
We have explored the benefits, the risks, the different types of exercise, the importance of safety, even touched on that power of community. I don't know about you, but I feel like I've earned myself a celebratory stretch break.
Me too. And remember, this is just the beginning of your exploration.
That's right.
There's a whole world out there.
Yes.
Keep asking those questions, keep learning, and most importantly, keep moving.
That's a wrap on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay active, and keep striving for that happy, healthy balance in all areas of your life.